exciting things that I've got planned for us today. But yeah, it's been about a week and a half since I last did this, so I apologise if I'm a little bit rusty, but we will see what happens. Right, let's get going. It is officially now 4 o'clock. But we will see. Dear. I like to watch it back on my laptop at the same time so I can see all the comments a bit clearer. And I just pressed play and I forgot to mute it, so it's a bit of banter. Right, so today I'm doing Thoughtful Thursdays. I'm going to move the camera over a little bit. There we go. Doing Thoughtful Thursdays, and I would like you to go and grab a Bible. You can use your phone, you can use an actual book. This one was given to me by my old youth worker. It's nice and pink and dotty, and you'll probably recognise it because it's very, very similar to the one that Abby had last week. So that's really quite exciting. And I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about worry and hope, especially in this really quite bizarre time. Yeah, so grab a coffee or any other beverage. I've got a coffee. If you know me, you know that I love coffee. I'm the main coffee drinker in the office, and I love it. There's nothing better. And the smell of it as well. Oh, that is just incredible. Like, nothing beats it. Right, so while we're waiting for a couple of people to join us, I'm just going to show you around a little bit. So, I'm currently in my office at home. It's called, well, I'm actually in the conservatory and it's just started raining and all the stuff that I put outside is outside. Oh, don't you just love British weather? Thankfully, I was thinking ahead and I brought in all of the electrical stuff, but there's a load of stuff out there that is going to get wet. Whoops. Never mind. So, if I can turn, yes I can. So, here's my laptop. There I am. I've got my Bible and some notes for today. I've got some books and a coffee. And I get a really nice view of the garden. Please ignore those plastic bottles over there, because they're for yesterday. I did a live stream yesterday for another group that I help out with. And we were doing outdoor bowling. So that was fun. Yeah, I like sitting here and looking at all the flowers and the fountain. Quite looking forward to summer actually when the fountain's used. So, feel free to ask me any more questions about me. As I said last week, you guys don't know me as well as the other staff members because I am a gap year. But also, if it's your first time watching this live stream from us, welcome. If you don't know any of us, or get to know us a bit better, feel free to ask any question as long as it's appropriate, and I will do my best to answer at the end of the live stream. I will leave a little slot. But last week I forgot to answer a question. So I got a question from Matt last week called... No, not called... From a guy called Matt last week. And it was, what do you miss most about being in Norwich? Now, I have had a week and a half to think about this question and think of a decent answer, and I'm still working on that because I miss so many aspects of being in Norwich. So I miss being really close to the beach. I can get to the seaside in 40 minutes, which I think is pretty incredible. You guys, if you're watching from Norwich or somewhere near the sea, you might think that's the norm, like. But I live in Birmingham, and that is the most landlocked city I think I could come across. So being able to get to the beach within 40 minutes is pretty fun. I really miss my host family, and just chilling with them, and I think that's really fun. Well, being with them is really fun as well. They have a dog called Isla. I miss Isla. She's brilliant. She runs away from anything that moves. Quite, well, I would say low maintenance, but she likes high quality things, like her water being changed frequently, and that's pretty funny. What else? I miss my team. It's really weird being the only person from the team that's not in Norwich, actually, and I think that it's a bit bizarre, really. So doing all the meetings and stuff online. It's great to see their faces, but it's just not the same as doing it in person, is it really? I miss my young people. So you guys, fantastic. You've made my year. I miss the friends that I've made over there. The list could go on and on. The weather is considerably better there than it is in Birmingham. It is warmer, for a start. So if you live in Norwich, consider yourself lucky. Right, so feel free to ask me any more questions as we go along, and I will do my best to answer them. I've just had a message come through from a friend called Ben. So Ben, if you're watching, hi Ben. Okay, fun fact about Ben, he was in the Christian Union that I led when I was in sixth form. Yeah, they're all great. Right, so I'm going to get on with the task in hand now. So I'm going to talk to you about worry. And I think that worry is a very natural thing. And it's something that, as humans, all of us will go through at some point. And now, more than ever, I think we're all worried about something. Whether that be health, or family members, or friends, jobs, education, that sort of thing. We're all worried about something. So I've got written down that it's a very worrying time for us all. So I'm going to read from the Bible now. I'm going to read from, to begin with, Matthew. I've put my bookmark in, so I don't know why I'm flicking through the pages. Matthew chapter 6, verses 25 to 34. Now, I apologise now if I mess up the reading, but yeah, we will see how this goes. Feel free to follow along, so I'll give you a moment now just to find those verses. So that is Matthew chapter 6, so a big 6, verses 25, so a little 25, all the way down to the end, which is verse 34, a little 34. Okay, and it's titled, Do Not Worry. It says, Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow? They do not labour or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendour was dressed like one of those. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, What shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. There we go. So that was one of Jesus' teachings, and Jesus taught his followers. So he had 12 main followers called the disciples. Comment all of the disciples' names if you know them, or just comment a few and I'll let you know if you're right. And he had 3 close friends who were also part of the 12. If you know who these 3 were, comment them down below and let me know. So yeah, it's one of Jesus' many, many teachings. He taught his followers, he taught people who came to hear his teachings, loads of things. And he quite often told them in parables, which are stories, as Abby told one of them last week. And stories would be things that they could relate to. So they'll be put into... So Jesus would put these stories into the followers' contexts, essentially. And he didn't just perform miracles. So when you think of Jesus, you might think, oh, miracles. He did so many miracles, which... yes, were incredible, but the teachings, and well, they're important, but the teachings are also important. Well done, Gary, Peter, James and John. He's on it. Okay, so there are many things that Jesus taught his followers, that are still very useful today. And I think that that is one of them. So we are all worrying about tomorrow. Are we going to get sick? Is someone we know sick? Is someone we know going to get sick? Are we going to have food? Loo roll? Are we going to have enough loo roll? Oh my word, we're going to run out of loo roll. I don't think we are. I think we're going to have enough food, enough loo roll. If we get sick, we've got doctors who can help us. If we're healthy, we'll still get sick, but we'll get better. And even if we do get sick, we shouldn't worry. Because we just need to calm down, take a breath, and look after ourselves. Okay. So, Jesus tells us not to worry. And he lists many things, doesn't he? So he lists the grass, the birds. Was it just the grass and the birds? Flowers, things like that. He lists things that are very small. I just watched a bird fly past. Things that are very small and things that to us might not seem that big of a deal. We cut the grass weekly, don't we? We throw the clippings away. Flowers, they die. If they're the sort of plants that come back next year, they will come back again next year. Yet, they're both beautiful. So, well done, Ben, I've just seen your comment. So, you've got birds. So, for example, a peacock's a bird, right? The male peacocks especially, they're beautiful, aren't they? Parrots, beautiful. So, I'm looking right now at some daffodils. They are gorgeous, yet they will all die. And we might seem small in comparison to the rest of the world, yet God cares for us. I believe as a Christian that God cares for us much, much more than all of the birds in the sky, or the fish in the sea, or the plants and grass and wildlife out there, because he wanted us to have a relationship with him. He wanted us to be friends with him and to talk to him and to do his work on earth. He wanted us to look after everything on the earth. So he put us in some form of control. Some might call it stewardship, which I think is really quite cool. So I don't know about you, but those verses give me some hope. They give me hope that actually tomorrow will be okay. Yesterday will be okay. Because God, and today will be okay. Because I believe that God is in control of yesterday, today and tomorrow. Because God knows what's going on. He knows what's going to happen next week, next year, next month. He knows our thoughts. He knows how many hairs are on our head, which, in case you haven't noticed, it's a lot. Sorry, Gary. If you know Gary, you'll get why that's funny. And he loves us so much that he's in control of everything that goes on. He is outside of time, yet within everything that goes on, which is brilliant. Yet, I worry anyway. As I said earlier, we all worry. We are all capable of worrying because we're humans. So, for example, when I was taking my GCSEs, I was really worried. I was like, what happens if this doesn't go well? What happens if I get all D's, E's and U's and don't pass anything and don't get into the college that I want to get into? And I had so much going on in my brain that I was just panicking and worried about it all the time. Yeah, I prayed about that. And I talked to God and I was like, please help me with this, because I can't get through this. And that's a similar thing that you could do now. Instead of worrying about this and thinking, oh, I need to think about this constantly, I need to worry about this constantly, there's nothing that can help with this because it's so out of our control, pray about it, because God is in control. It might seem a bit weird because it seems like everything's going so wrong now that God is in control. But he is. And people that have died, those that have faith, have gone to heaven to be with him, which I think is pretty awesome. So, it's a natural human emotion that we all experience, and we can tell all our worries to God. So I'm going to read us another verse from the Bible. This one is a lot shorter. And it is from 1 Peter, chapter 5, so a big 5, and a little 7. I'll give you a moment to find that. So that's further on in the New Testament. This is how far away I am from the end of the book. This is how far away I am from the beginning of the Bible. So yeah, it's 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7, and it says, "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." So as I was saying earlier, God cares for us. God loves us and he wants the best for us. So we can give all of our worries, all of our anxieties, all of these negative thoughts that are going on and round and round and round in our minds. We can give all of that to God anytime we want. And we need to throw all of these on to God. So that's all your worries, all your troubles onto it. All of it onto the Lord. It says, cast your anxieties. You know how a fisherman casts his nets over the boat? He doesn't just gently push them, he throws them. He uses a lot of force, a lot of strength to force all of those nets into the water, to cast all of those nets into the water. And in a similar way, that's what we need to do with our anxieties, our worries. So to keep hold of these troubles as a Christian, it's almost like saying to God, no, I can do this by myself, I don't need you. I want to be the God of my own life. I can control everything, and those things that I can't control, well, I just have to deal with them, won't I? But actually, we need God to deal with these for us. We can't deal with these on our own. So we need, and we can, trust God and give him the ultimate control over these things, over our life, over all of these worries, all the good things, all the bad things. We can talk to him about anything, good or bad, which is a really cool thing. And we can do this. We don't have to, I don't know, go into a church building, be completely washed down, and say some lengthy prayer. We could do it in our bedrooms, at the dining table, in the kitchen while we're washing up, on your run if you go out for your daily exercise, you can do it on your walk. You can do it whenever you want, however you want. And I think that is really quite cool. So it is a great comfort, and it gives me great hope to know all of this stuff, to know that we can do all of this in this really strange time is really comforting, as I just said. I feel like I've just repeated myself. We can give everything to God, and in this bizarre time that we're in, we need this more than ever, because we haven't been through this before. We haven't lived through anything like this before. So actually, having God, our creator, our Father there, to be able to cast all of these anxieties onto is brilliant, because he understands. He has, I mean, we've been through pandemics before, like the world has, but not the current generation. And God has been around since before time. So God has been around through many, many, many pandemics. He's been around through many wars. He's been around through everything. If you read through the Old Testament, you'll find so many wars going on. At the moment, with my church, I'm reading through 1 and 2 Samuel, and there are many battles and raids going on that actually you can rely on God through those as well. Does that make sense? Cool. So I'm going to just give you a few practical things now that might help you if you're anxious or worried about anything that's going on. Feel free to drop me your questions, and if you have any way that you relax and you fancy sharing those, feel free to drop them in the comment section and I will read them out, because they might actually be really beneficial to other people. So we can pray. As I've just been banging on about, we can pray. And that's, praying sounds a bit scary, I think, sometimes, but all it is just a two-way conversation between you and God. It's just like how you might talk to your mum, your dad, brother, sister, etc., etc. It's a two-way conversation, and you can do it whenever you want. And if you've never prayed before, can I just encourage you to at least give it a shot, because you literally have nothing to lose. And if you don't like it, or you don't think it works, once you've done it once, I'm not going to pressure you into doing it again. But I think that if you just give it a shot, once, twice, a couple of times maybe, it might really help you, and you might find that actually, yeah, I can talk to God. And if you already pray, if you're already a Christian, can I just encourage you to keep praying, keep on leaning into God and engaging with him, because sometimes it's the best thing you can do in these sorts of situations. If you've got a Bible, read it. There's lots of good, juicy things in there, and lots of good practical advice as well. So, and other ways to relax. Have a bath. You might hate, bath. I'm talking on a Norwich page now. I need to talk like I come from Norwich, right? You need to have a bath. If you like baths. What I do sometimes is I'll run myself a nice hot bath, chuck a bath bomb in there, take in my speaker with some really calming music on there, relaxing music, and take a book and just sit there for 2-3 hours maybe, until the water gets cold basically, and we'll just chill for a bit. And that really helps me relax. It takes me out of any situation that I'm in, and it kind of forces me to stop. Make use of the one bit of exercise that you get every day. Go outside, get some fresh air, because being stuck inside watching box sets all day is no good for your mind, for your health. You need to get out, and you will be... Ben, it's bath. It is a bath. So, take 20 minutes, half an hour, just go for a walk. At the moment, the sun has come back out, which is really nice. It was sunny this morning. I went on a 10-minute run, and I feel loads better for it. If it's still sunny when I finish the live stream, I might go outside and just sit there for a bit, because it's great to get some fresh air and a change of scenery. And it can actually be really relaxing and remind you that actually the world itself hasn't really changed. You're not with anybody else, so there's no need to worry about like social distancing yourself from anyone out there, because it's your own garden, if you've got a garden, that is. What else? You could read a book, if reading a book is your sort of thing, because it can take you out of the current world and transport you into a new world. That's what I love about reading. So I like reading a lot of rom-coms and things like that, just because I feel like they've got a fair amount of detail in them, so I can take myself off to their happy world of fun, where blossom's always on the trees, the sun's always shining, and, you know, it's usually based at a seaside, so you can hear all the waves and you can picture yourself there. I spoke to one of my friends earlier today, and she told me that she enjoys playing music, so in the physical sense. So if you've got an instrument that you enjoy playing, grab it out, play an instrument. So she plays guitar and she also sings. So to relax, she'll play her guitar. And she also likes going out for walks. So again, making use of the exercise. Gary said that he likes to brush and brush and brush my hair. Well, his dog's hair. So yeah, if you've got a pet, groom your pet. Or take your pet out for a walk. Or just play with your pet for a bit. Because actually that can be really de-stressing and really good fun. You could also sit with a film and a hot chocolate, if hot chocolates are your thing. A coffee, which has now gone cold. Brilliant. And just sit and watch your favourite film, because that takes you away from everything for 2 hours. I know that quite a few people on my team love board games, so play some board games, because it requires your mind to think about something else and to physically work towards something, especially if it's quite a strategy-heavy game. Yeah, I was trying to think of a game title that I played once with my boss, and I can't remember what it is. And I remember being decent at it for the first time that I've done it, which is a bit like, what is this? This is like a stroke of luck. Beginner's luck, that's what I'm after. So, yeah, feel free to keep writing down your ways of relaxing and de-stressing. Also, ask me questions. Ask me any questions you like, because I want to hear your questions. I want you to get to know me better, and I want to get to know you better as well. So I'm just going to talk away for a couple of minutes, and we'll see what happens. So, yeah, it's a worrying time, but there are things to be hopeful for. The world might be slightly different afterwards. In fact, it most likely is going to be slightly different afterwards, because everyone's going to suddenly be more conscious of their health, more conscious of hygiene, more conscious of the way they treat the world and other people. Some people might become more grateful for everything that is around them, so the world might actually become a much nicer place, which would be really quite cool. And things will go back to normal, whatever normal is anyway. This is only temporary, and it might be a temporary thing that lasts for quite a few months, but in the grand scheme of things, it is only temporary. It will pass. It won't be the end of the world. But it is important to remember that it's not the be-all and end-all. And yes, it can be quite stressful. And I understand that, and I appreciate that, because I am quite stressed, and I can get quite worried as well sometimes. But, I mean, if you ever need anything, if you follow us on any social media pages, for example, Instagram, at Norwich Youth for Christ, drop us a message. If you want us to pray for you, we can pray for you. If you want us to just have a little chat with you, we can have a little chat with you. All of us leaders are on the page, so one of us will see it and pick it up. So it might not be me replying to it, it might be Gary, or it might be Nick, or it might be Abby, but one of us will pick it up, and we would love to pray for you, we would love to chat with you. We just want to make sure that you're okay as well. So, yeah. Does anybody have any more questions for me? Or any ways that they relax? So I want to know your questions. Oh, another thing that I do that helps me to relax. I like making cards, so I can't draw to save my life. In fact, I become very stressed when I have to draw. Let me show you a drawing of a giraffe that I did for a youth group that I did the other day. Do you like it? It's ridiculous, isn't it? Look at the tail. What is that? And the back leg. So I can't draw. It's a moral of that story. But I can make some pretty cards. So I stamp them. I get some ink, and I have like a little block folder thing. And so, for example, a sunflower, I will then get... So one that I've recently made, I'll get a sunflower with some black ink, stamp the black ink onto the sunflower, press it onto a card, and then I'll move it around in some like random orders, and then I'll get out some Sharpies, and I will just colour in a couple of the petals, just to add a bit of colour to it. I can print in colour, but I feel like it can sometimes be very restrictive, but, I mean, whatever floats your boat. And then I'll just kind of assemble it. And you can actually see how your card has been assembled, and I think that's quite cool. So I enjoy being a bit creative, because again, same as card games, you have to think about something else. You can think, oh, what can I make today? And then you start thinking about other creative possibilities that could come out of it, which I think is really quite cool. And then I start thinking about, oh, who could I make this for? And so I could then write a card and send it to a friend. I have a tendency, I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but I have a tendency of writing a card, leaving it inside, well, tendency, an idea, it's more of an idea at the moment, writing a card, putting it inside the envelope, writing the address on it, and then leaving it there for 3 days, because apparently that's how long it takes for all the bugs to kind of die. And then I will take it to the post box. I mean, it means the envelope probably isn't very clean anymore, but at least the card's somewhat debugged. De-germed. So yeah, those are ways that I enjoy relaxing. Those are the ways that some of my friends enjoy relaxing. If you want to use any of those ideas, feel free. And I would highly recommend taking some time out for yourself, looking after yourself, read the Bible, pray a bit. I think now is a best time to start reading your Bible, to start praying. If you're already a Christian, keep reading your Bible, keep praying, because I think that is probably the most practical thing you can do right now. But, you know, let me know how you get on. It'd be great to see what you get up to. Okay, I'm just going to let you know what's happening tomorrow, because we've got another live stream tomorrow. We've had live streams from Monday through to today, and today's Thursday, I hope. If it's not Thursday, something's gone horribly, horribly wrong. But we have them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday at 4 o'clock every weekday, just to provide you guys with some entertainment. And tomorrow, Gemma is going to be doing Creative Fridays, and she's going to be doing a blindfolded drawing challenge. Now, I don't think we've met Gemma yet, but Gemma's a legend. She's very creative, and I would highly recommend watching that video and having some fun with the creativeness of a Friday. So let me just double check to see if we've got any more questions. Final call for questions. So we've reached half an hour, so give you a little bit of time. I'm never going to sing on here ever again. That was a bad move. Okay. By the looks of it, we've got no more questions, which is a shame, but never mind. So, I hope you've liked this video. Subscribe to our channel. We will be posting videos, as I've said, every day at 4 o'clock. Tune into those channels. Really engage with those engage with those videos. Tune into those videos. Because we really want you to be able to take something away from that. We really want to provide you with something that isn't the same. You know, we want you to provide you with something that's a little bit different every day. And each one of us, as I said during my first video, a different leader is taking it every day. So you'll have met all of us pretty much, I think, by tomorrow. And I think that's really quite cool. So yeah, spread love, not germs. Bye!